Exacta cameras from Mr. Wu. And so I'll be interviewing him, and it's a long one. So I split it into two parts. So this will be part one, discussing Exacta cameras and a little bit of history of that brand from Germany. Okay, I hope you enjoy it. Hi, Mr. Wu. How are you doing
Yeah,
today?
good. Yeah, took a break from the Chinese New Year and we are back. So today we do the Exacta, the first camera I started with. So in my retail time, we had a yardstick to measure the competence of the person in the counter. We say when you heard about it, that's the first level. The customer say, "Do you have this?" You have heard about it. If the guy say, "I never heard about it," then he's gone. So we heard about it, and then we handle it. You play with it, you know how it works. Then you next level is you can answer any question that is thrown at you on that product. Then the last one is you consider yourself an expert. So the cameras here, my first one, I would I would consider I know practically quite a lot about this. Although there are many other models I don't have. So what we are always doing here is we are featuring cameras that I own, that I have. That's why sometimes you find there's some gaps there. Not by choice, it's just I don't have it. But I'm now trying to team up with some of my other friends who may have that, and they will volunteer to fill up the gap so we have more coming.
Wow, fantastic.
So I told you earlier about the first camera that I broke in the process of working. I still kept it. See, this is the wooden dial that I broke. The metal dial I broke. So the metal dial was something like this. I broke it, so I make out of a wooden dowel and shape it. So managed to get it to work. But over the years, the other thing fell apart. But I still kept it. So yeah, so this is my first Exacta. Then in
That's
one of the
amazing.
Photokina 2014, I went to the camera shop that is next door to the big church. During the war, that church, with all the bombs falling left and right, but nothing touched that church for whatever reason. So that church was spared the devastation of the war. But until now, every now and then, the reconstruction is ongoing, never stopped until now. And there's a camera shop beside it. So I went in, I found this camera because it brings back a lot of memories. So I bought this. So this one is the Exacta Verex 2A. According to the historians, this is the best looking Exacta ever. Now, they have these finders you can change, and there's also the eye level finder. But this one supposed to have a shoe you slot on top. That I did not have. So what I did is I go to the online shop and bought this adapter. I could screw it underneath and I can put a flash. So it's an odd position to put a flash underneath. So what I do is, after I've done all my composition, I just flip the camera upside down so the flash now is on top.
Wow,
Then I take my picture.
ingenious.
So all my Exacta have that feature. I put that here, so I can put a shoe, then I can put a flash. So this was the main camera before the Nikon F. This was the de facto scientific camera. In every hospital, research station, you will find this camera. You can have a lot of accessories and attachment for scientific, macro, medical photography. So it has a 3-claw bayonet mount, small mount for small lens, and an outer bigger mount for the bigger lenses. So this is the very tiny claw. So because of this small diameter, the lenses were limited to maybe at most 1.8 f2. They didn't have a faster lens. Then, of course, they were quite smart at that time. This, the main camera, cost more money. So they produce a line of simpler scaled down models like this, the XR. They have this XR, smaller size. They use the same viewfinder. They use the same lenses. So virtually you get the same optical quality. But with a simplified form, the shutter speed doesn't go very much. It goes up, this model goes up to 150 only. Later on, they managed to increase it up to 500. So this is a scaled down one. So it was quite popular. So this is the mini one, this is the main one. One of the strong points of this camera system is their close-up macro facility. They have this massive rail which I kept over the years. This one is fitted with a slide attachment. So you can rack this up and down. This one, the bellows are not here. So this is a focusing rail. And then you can swing this around for a vertical shot. This is a big one. Then there is a smaller bellow, which I have here. Now this bellow originally is, you loosen this knob and you have to use two hands to focus and you lock it up. I found it very cumbersome. So the place where I come from, Malaysia, we have a lot of this rubber band. So I loop it here. So now it is spring loaded. So I do focus. So I want to go focus further, I push it back. I want to focus near, I leave it, and then I just lock it. And I put a little coin here so that it gives me the infinity stop.
Well, that's ingenious.
Now this lens is a bellow lens, so it doesn't have a focusing mount. So on itself you cannot use it. So it goes together with the bellow. So now it allows you to focus from infinity to close up. So when I attach it here, so open up the aperture, then I just squeeze, wind the film, I just squeeze to focus. When it's sharp, lock it, there you go. Then I can click. So, can do my close-up. So this is a compact bellows. We said earlier that this dial here takes you from 1/25 to 1000. And you want slow, extended time exposure, you can go down from 115 to 12 seconds. So in total, you got exposure time from 12 seconds up to 1000 plus B and T. So I think no mechanical camera until now have this kind of a range. The closest is probably a Nikon F2. They go up to 10 seconds. Then you can load the film from a cassette to a take-up spool, and then after that you do the rewind. Or you can take this out. You can load from a cassette to another cassette. Then you can cut the film midway with a cutting knife here. Splice it, and then roll it off, and then you take this part and have it develop. Then put another cassette or take-up spool, and then you continue with the rest. So this camera served me very well. It's slow, but it works, it does its job. Then we have this XR. Slightly different. Instead of a winding lever, you got a winding knob. And this one is the first which level finder. You notice here, there is a little pin here. It goes down, so you cannot fire the shutter. unless you open it up. Then you can view. Then it allow you to click. So that is found in the early camera. The early Exacta had the same. They had a little slot here where the plunger goes in. So you wind by the knob, you click. This shutter selector is like a like a car gear shift. It goes down to B, and then up to 150. Not too fast, but fast enough for normal use. And how this works is, this is a special kind of shutter, a guillotine shutter combined with a mirror. So this reflex mirror is form part of the shutter. When you make the exposure, the mirror goes up, leaving you the gap exposed, and then a drum covers it up to complete the exposure. So if it's a slow speed, it will be something like this. Yeah. So this one is a very simple shutter, very simple, very easy. And like most of the early cameras, Leica included, the body is just the shell. When you remove all the screws and everything, the whole camera mechanism just slide it out. The whole engine comes out like a Beetle car. You can actually just lift up the car, remove all the connectors, and then the engine will just drop down. Then you service it and then you put it back. So same thing with this. You want to work on the shutter and everything, you loosen up, everything comes out of the shell. Then you work on it and then you put it back. Same thing like the Leicas, most of the Leica also like this. So we have this. There are many XR models. These two are the version 4. And there are many Exacta main models. The last one has an instant return mirror. The Werex 1000, you got an instant return mirror. Then when the company was merged into the other German companies, it became like this. The last one, the last Exacta is the Exacta RTL1000. It's actually a modified Pratica VLC. So this time round, many parts are more modern. It has now the vertical running metal shutter, a quick film loading, hinge back. It still have a changeable lens. They still retain the original mount, but now they have a new diaphragm system where the aperture open and close automatically. Okay, close it down. So it open and close. But to make it compatible with the old system, they got two shutter release. This is the new shutter release, and this is the secondary shutter release. So with this one, you can use back the old lenses and still maintain the compatibility. So this one, this plunger, close the aperture and then it trips the shutter. So you can use back old lenses. It works backwards. Yeah, so you can use both ways. Two shutter. The slow speed now go up to 8 seconds. So you have this. Then the finder is also changeable, but it's no longer the same. So it's smaller size. So this new finder doesn't fit the old finder. Whereas the Exacta, the normal ones, all the finders are compatible. So this was the last Exacta before it folded up. By the way, this company was run by a Dutch owner, Johan Steenbergen. So it was in the factory, the Dresden factory. So we have the finder, eye level finder. This is the waist level finder. Then this is the newer waist level finder. The first waist level finder is a solid block The magnifier and the screen is one whole block. Then you have the magnifying for critical focusing. Then you got the flip up frame for sports finder. So you do your focusing, then you look through here for quick shot. This is the first one. Then later on, this is the later viewfinder. It has changeable screen this time. You can change the focusing screen, but now it doesn't have the flip up frame for sports finder. But you can lift the magnifier up, and then as you close, it will get out of the way. So, yeah, lift it up. So this is the newer rangefinder. Then we have the eye level finder. They had a few versions cosmetically. They had one with a meter, and so on. So you got the viewfinder. That's the type.